Welcome into the show, everybody. Let's just get straight into the brass of things. We need people out there, if anyone's watching right now, to start flossing, which I have to do myself. I didn't even floss yet. I was using my phone during that entire thing. I'm disgusted. My teeth are gross right now. Flossing is follow, like, observe, subscribe, and share anything on and off the field related. Sure. Feel free to inform the masses about flossing.
Absolutely. Well, make sure to follow, like, observe, and share on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, as well as subscribe to our YouTube and our Twitch channels, which we are live on, all by searching at OOTF Podcast. Make sure to click the link in the video description to get all the other links you need for this great show. Make sure to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts so we know how we're doing and what you like or dislike about this award-winning show.
Is that all we have to say? Jeez. No, see, everything's all thrown off time-wise now. We do have a guest tonight, and he's staring at me. He's probably thinking, what the hell did I get myself into tonight? We're going to jump right in here. I got to click 2 more buttons, and we're going to jump into this show. It's going to be a blast. So, first and foremost, we're flossing, Josh. We're flossing. Everyone's flossing. Right. First thing, we have to get to this without a doubt, so everybody knows. Last week was cake of the week. This week we're swapping it up. We're just going back and forth. It's pie of the week. It's a sweet potato pie kind of week this week. Sweet potato pie. I've never had it. Have you ever had sweet potato pie?
No.
I feel like that's extremely southern. I feel like that's not a thing up here, at least that I've seen.
Yeah, I think it's a southern thing. I mean, literally the band Alabama made a song about it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, yeah, it's in the lyrics from Alabama. So it's a southern thing.
I thought there was a full blown song dedicated to sweet potato pie. I was like, wow, that's love for pie. Josh loves it. He's got some raisins as his profile picture this time around, but he loves himself some sweet potato pie. So there we go. Last week we had some kind of chocolate cake. This week it's sweet potato pie. The masses are happy. Let's move into our actual real first segment, which is we are being joined by Aaron Game Changer Ludwig. I threw that in there. Game Changer Ludwig, the founder and CEO of the Football for Equality. I don't know if I'm supposed to use the word foundation or anything, but I'll let him come in here and he'll let us all know exactly what it is. Aaron, welcome to the show.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on this award-winning podcast. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a real honor for anybody. Yeah, as you notice, the complete disaster as the beginning of the show was. I don't know how we won an award. It's not possible.
And I got to apologize off the top here for my aesthetically unpleasing background here. I'm actually creating a studio in our basement here at our house. So don't mind the cement wall or the fact that I look like I just came in from a windstorm or anything like that. But
windstorm. Okay.
A windstorm, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Where's that at?
We're in Green Bay.
Green Bay. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is there still snow down there? Up there? Down.
No. Actually, it's been pretty nice the last couple of weeks. We had some 60s and 70s, and I mean pretty unseasonal for this time of year, but we'll take it.
Yeah, same around here. It's been beautiful lately. A lot of rain, but it's been nice.
Yeah. Well, I'll take the rain as long as it's warmer than 20 degrees or 20 below or whatever we usually have. So, I think it was around this time back in 2018, I think it was. My mom actually has a shirt that says I survived this. There was a snowstorm that hit and we got 2 feet of snow in the middle of April over, I think, about a 48-hour period. And they actually, one of the radio or TV stations made a shirt that said, I survived Snowstorm Evelyn or something like that. My mom has the shirt. So, I know what we can still get. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that, we didn't put the snowblower away too soon. But like I said, we'll take what we got.
Yeah, you really never know. You never know. You pray it's gone, but geez, yeah.
Now, are you guys both in Buffalo?
Yeah,
where are you?
Yeah, we're both in Rochester, close to Buffalo.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, nice and warm here. It's great. It's great all around. We're all very happy. But I was lurking around Facebook, and we just come and I stumble upon Football for Equality. So I put down one of the first posts that you had on there. You're the founder and the CEO of Football for Equality. Can you give us basically what it is? Just give us a general overview. What do we got here? Football for Equality.
Sure. Yeah. So it's kind of a hybrid company. We're actually a for-profit company. It's the legal name is Football for Equality LLC. But a big part of what we're doing is going to be working with different foundations and nonprofit organizations that are in some way, shape, or form focused on creating opportunities for whether it's women, other minorities, really anyone that's maybe in underserved communities, schools that are maybe underserved in underserved communities, that sort of thing. And it's kind of we just got started, so it's rather a general a general description of it. But I've always been passionate about football. There's kind of two things that I grew up loving, and one is sports in general, and the other is video games. And football is probably my favorite sport by far, and then followed by basketball. But growing up in Green Bay, I mean, everything was the Packers. Even in the crappy '80s when I grew up, it was still they'd sell out the stadium, and the team would go 3-13 or something like that, or 8-8 was like a Super Bowl year back then. But we still loved the Packers, loved football. And so I wanted to take something that I loved and, try to make a career out of it. I spent most of my life working in the daycare industry, working with kids. And once I started my family, and got married and everything, it was like, I can't keep doing this because the kids would drive me nuts at work. And then I'd go home and have zero patience for my own kids. So basically when my dad passed away back in 2016, I just kind of started looking at my life thinking, I got to do something else. And this was one of the things that came out of that. It's been about a 4-year work in progress. And what we're trying to do is combine events for both football and esports related or football related esports. So things like Madden. I don't know if you guys ever played Tecmo Super Bowl. I don't know how old you are. So, Tecmo Super Bowl for the original Nintendo is another big one that kind of has a cult following. And so those two games, along with really, NFL Blitz, anything that comes out that we can make a tournament out of. And then the goal is starting in August. We're actually going to be right outside of Philadelphia in Valley Forge. It's the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center at Oaks is where we're going to be. And that's going to be our first big event. So the Football for Equality is going to be putting on a flag football tournament in that area, as well as, doing some Madden stuff, some Tecmo Super Bowl stuff and whatnot, along with numerous other video games. But that's kind of where we're going to really kick things off. And in the meantime, we're going to probably do some online tournaments and start working with some flag football leagues around the country to maybe do some qualifying events and that kind of thing. But the goal is eventually to do a national tour to every city that has an NFL team. Do maybe a 3-day event where we have, some youth tournaments for flag football, as well as maybe some, when we get up to Buffalo, have some of the Bills former players or even some active players if they're not playing that particular weekend, maybe come out and do a little camp or whatever. That's still kind of something that we're in the planning processes for. But part of all the money that we bring in is going to go into this fund, the For Equality Fund, which will then be dispersed to various organizations. And it could be local organizations in whatever city we're in, or it could be, national organizations too, that are focused on providing opportunities and making lives better for, people that don't necessarily have all the opportunities that maybe we have.
That's outstanding.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the kind of goals and aspirations that that we had when we started this podcast, just trying to find a way to give back and help the underprivileged. Because I feel like I don't want to speak for Derf here, but we've had pretty good lives and we've had fair opportunity,
Sure.
A lot of people don't have that, and it's a great opportunity. It's something that you get to put on. You get to follow your passion for football and video games, but then also give back and help those in need. That's really outstanding. You said it's been going on. You said 4 years. It's kind of been in the works.
Yeah, I've been working on it. It's more been up here for 4 years, and one of those kind of things, along with 200 other ideas that I have. But this is kind of an opportune time. I mean, I'm not going to lie. This is I kind of looked at the climate that's going on right now. I mean, you guys were just talking about what happened yesterday in Minneapolis again, and this is kind of a perfect opportunity that I thought, if I don't ever do this, there's going to be no better time for this to kind of take off and people really get behind this than now. I mean, it's, I hate to look at it from a business perspective, but I have to, otherwise it won't be around for very long, and,
right.
Someone else will do it. So, I kind of looked at it and said, if I'm not going to do this, especially if when you talk about equality, if you're not going to do this now, then you're not going to do it at all. It's like, why the hell are you waiting? So yeah, that's kind of, one of the reasons. We also want to get in, a couple of the things that we would really like to do in the next year. One of our goals is to partner with, HBCU schools, as well as, high schools and other technical colleges in the bigger cities, and create, I don't necessarily want to call them internship programs, but like training programs where people can learn how to get involved in, say, esports and sports event management and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to take some of our money and we're going to help start esports programs in various schools. Our goal is to start programs in 1,000 different schools in the next year around the country. And we believe that if we can get the support that we're hoping for, that won't be a problem at all. I mean, that would actually really be pretty simple, even if it's just getting some Madden programs or something like that going. And then, those schools can build up their esports programs from there. Same with doing flag football tournaments or anything else where, if you have I guess to backtrack a little bit, in high school, I was never an athlete. I mean, I love sports. I was just never good enough at anything. And I never cared about, like, you look at great athletes and, like, Kobe Bryant. I mean, they said he ate, slept and breathed basketball, and Magic Johnson was the same way. And, all these athletes that make it to the top, a lot of them are just, zeroed in on whatever sport they are. And for me, I played whatever was in season. Baseball, I played in the summertime. Football, I played in the fall, and, basketball in the winter, that kind of thing. So I was never focused on one sport. Plus, I'm like 5'7", so I mean, basketball wasn't really something that I was going to be excelling at or getting a scholarship in. So my idea was, I wanted to be the next Dan Patrick. I wanted to be that guy, doing Sports Center and that kind of thing. And that never took place, but I want to create programs in schools, again, especially the schools that are underserved, where those students, maybe we can get them started doing podcasts or doing, shows. They could be covering their school team, or they could be even just covering the NFL or whatever they want to do. Give them an opportunity, get them the supplies, the equipment that they would need, and that kind of thing. And, kind of let them loose. We have a couple people that are interested, in kind of mentoring or, doing maybe some online classes for the students that, one of them is, worked for about 20 years freelance with ESPN. He worked with guys like Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman and all those guys. He helped, I don't want to say he helped mold them, but he helped coach them basically, in their craft. And, so has said he's interested in helping out with that. Where the students could make these podcasts or do these videos and, send them to him, and he can kind of give them some notes and that kind of thing. So we have definite interest from people who, these students could really benefit from, whether they're in high school or college. Hell, even middle school kids could, get involved. I would have loved to have done something like this in middle school, in 7th or 8th grade, where if I could have had the opportunity to be coached by somebody who actually knew what they were doing and that kind of thing.
That's all it really takes, is just the opportunity. Mm-hmm. That's what people just aren't given. A lot of people aren't given. So just being able to provide that is exceptional work. And I know for a fact that you got our support. And I know for a fact, at least so far, you got one of our fans support, Josh. He's all about it. I think
Thanks, Josh.
he said he went over and liked the page, and I'll be sure to link the page as well. It'll be in our description. It'll be everywhere. We'll push the crap out of it, and we'll be there following along. We'll be following the journey. I implore everyone else to follow the journey, and we'll try and help boost it as well. Because personally, I'm in love with the concept. I really hope nothing but success for it.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah. And just so, and I didn't really get a chance to talk to you a whole lot about it. But we do have a couple of, some hats and a shirt that we're working on too, to put out there to kind of do some crowdfunding for it. So I'll be sure to let you know when that happens. And I mean, obviously we'll put it all over the social media, Twitter and Facebook. And, hopefully we can get this rolling, even if for people that don't want to necessarily play, just buy a shirt and, we can get things rolling that way too. We're going to be creating a referral program too for, if you have a team, because I know that, I don't know about by you guys, it's not really taking off around here in Green Bay all that much, but I know especially like in Texas, Florida, down in the South, flag football is really kind of taking off. It's really kind of crazy. And, for adult men and even for, adult women and co-ed teams and that kind of thing, we will be putting together programs where they'll be able to actually raise money for their team as well as helping us raise money too. So, a lot of those tournaments aren't necessarily cheap. But if you can, raise the $500 by selling our shirts, we'd be more than happy to help you out with that. And, it helps out our cause as well and that kind of thing. So we have a few things that are in the works and, it's exciting.
And yeah, like I said, we'll definitely be following that journey, and we've already been talking. So just if you keep me up to date personally, I'll be sure to update our fan base as well.
Awesome. Thanks. I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on and letting everybody know about it. And like I already said, we'll keep everyone up to date as the journey goes on.
Awesome. Yeah. And, we'll, for you guys, obviously you don't need it necessarily as much as some other, podcasters do. But we will be doing some programming for our site once the site is up, promoting, podcasters like you guys too. So maybe you guys can come on, we'll do a show on our site, that you guys can be a part of and, kind of help each other out too. So.
You know where to find us. We're 100% ready for that.
All right. Sounds great, guys. I appreciate the time.
Yeah, thank you very much. Have a fantastic rest of your evening.
You guys too. Thanks.
All righty. Yeah, I was just browsing Facebook and we just came across it. I don't remember. I think it was one of the groups I'm in. We just became Facebook friends. I saw a post about it. I think it was just something amazing to stumble upon. And man, just wish there was, just more people out there with a good heart and a good mind and just a good goal to go help people like go help underprivileged people like that. Right. And in a fun way too, with video games and football.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with that. Come on. All right. So we got to hustle a little bit. We got a lot to talk about.
We got some time.
Do we have enough time?
Yeah.
You got the time tonight?
I got the time tonight.
He's got the time. So let's jump into our first well-beloved segment. The other sports. Jamal Murray tore his ACL?
Yeah, it looked pretty bad.
Was it?
Yeah, I saw it live last night. That was a lot of pain he was in. He immediately, fell to the ground and grabbed that knee, and you could just see the pain in his face. Like it was over. Yeah,
you just kind of know. That's the worst feeling. It's weird because sometimes, like especially I feel like in some football games, you see a guy get his knee turned around, but he goes out for a couple plays, he comes back in. Yeah, it's like he's in pain, but it's like maybe just sprain something, heat of the moment, he's ready to go.
Right.
And then after the game, You get an MRI. Yeah, he tore his ACL. Excuse me? What do you mean? He played like 10 more snaps after that happened. What are you talking about? But yeah, so he was just done for the Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets. Are they in contention?
Not a clue.
I know Jamal Murray's a big deal.
Yeah.
I don't think the Nuggets are a big deal.
I think they were maybe in the play-in contention for the playoffs.
Oh, they're in 4th right now. 4th seed.
Oh. And
Wow.
they're doing better than we thought.
Well, that's about to come to a crashing end, I think.
I think so.
Without their star player, 34-20 on the season. Oh boy. Not good. Not good. Derf with the golden mic. This is still a show, unfortunately for you. Welcome back, Ryan. And Curry broke Wilt's Warriors all-time points record. That is true. I saw that, but since this isn't like another sports segment, I've kind of forgot. He scored like 58 points and then broke the all-time record. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Talk about a guy who changed the sport, Steph Curry. You talk about athletes. I feel like this is when you talk about who's the greatest players of all time. You always have to talk about the ones up front are the ones that always change the sport.
Right.
You know, how the game is played. You know, it completely like in the NFL, changing from a run first to a pass first. Like who really started that, kind of like the mobile quarterback with like Michael Vick. Like things really, whoever shifts things in the league. And Steph Curry was the guy who started the 3-point trend. I feel like that really just made it take off. That people started talking about moving back the 3-point line because he was so dang good at it.
Yeah.
Now everyone wants to be freaking Steph Curry. So,
Yep.
I don't know why I went off on a tangent about that, but I just felt like I wanted to. My favorite sports podcast. It's your only sports podcast. Let's be honest here. It's the only one. And then we have Hideki Matsuyama. I say that right?
Yep.
I feel like I have to emphasize it just so I do say it right. Because if I try to just go through it, I'm going to say it wrong. You won the Masters by 1 stroke.
Mm-hmm.
People want to say he choked at the end there. Almost choked. He had a 4-stroke lead. He played. If people want to know what golf is, you know how well golf is played. He played extremely defensive.
Yep.
And that's why Justin Rose lost, because he was he was 7 under par on the first day and then went 7 under par for the rest of the tournament because he played defensive. He had the lead. Instead of going for better scores, he was just like, I'm going to take my time here. And then he lost. Hideki played offensively the entire time until he knew there's 5 holes left. I got a 4-stroke lead, 3-stroke lead.
Right.
I can play defensive. I can take the less risky shot, but might have to 2 or 3 putt. I'll lose a stroke, but it's better to lose 1 stroke than hit it in the water or a bunker and then lose 2 strokes.
Right.
That's how he played down the stretch, and it gave him just enough to win by a stroke. Absolutely incredible performance.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was, I want to say hole 16 or 17. You know, he was slipping pretty quickly there with that, that overshot on the green into the water. But yeah, he got to 18, still had the lead, and crushed that drive. Straight as an arrow, perfect shot. But yeah, he pulled it out. And, he just played his game. He did what he needed to. It wasn't it didn't seem like he was super worried about everyone else. Kind of similar to what Justin Rose did, but him and even his Xander, what's the last name? Schauffele. Him and they were going neck and neck there for a while. Xander almost took the lead from him. It was close. Then Xander had a couple bad shots late in the round there, but yeah, things got close. There was potential upset almost happened, but Hideki just kind of kept his head down and did what he knew how to do, and it worked out. So yeah, it's a great accomplishment for a Japanese player to win the Masters, because it is the first that we've seen for the Masters. But yeah, I watched a good chunk of each round as much as I could during the Masters, and it was very surprising at how terrible some of the bigger name players played. And I was like, is this course really that hard?
Well, they did talk about it a little bit. I didn't know the details, but the people of Augusta did say, and the sources around Augusta were saying it was going to be unlike any other year.
Yeah.
Those greens were a trampoline, man. You couldn't get a ball to stop rolling.
Right.
That ball would hit the ground. You think it'd be a perfect shot, but it would just hit the green, and it would bounce 20 feet in the air and then just roll off. It was unlike anything you've ever seen. And some people said, well, maybe they did that on purpose because of what Dustin Johnson did to them 5 months ago. He was scoring 20 under par and making a joke out of Augusta.
Well, yeah, that could have been, weather related, where, they anticipated rain, so they didn't water the greens as much, and then it didn't rain, so then they're like, oh, there's our chance to get the green right. But, luckily they did get some rain. I think third round they had some rain come through, so that definitely did help the greens. The balls were able to to drop and sit where they needed to get the backspin they need. They're not bouncing off the green as quickly, so I think that definitely helped the players. But I do have a kind of a theory or question here. These guys play 4 rounds on the same course, and I know from experience from last year, when we go to the course, sometimes they move the pin around on the greens. Do they? I mean, maybe someone who's listening knows this, and they could let us know. I don't know if you know, but do they change where the pin is each round? Or is it the same pin on the green each round?
They do change it. I just don't know if it's a different spot all 4 days. I do know they move it I know for a fact that they do move it. There's different days it'll be on the left side of the green, right side of the green, back, front. They do change it. I just don't know how many times. I don't know if they do it every day. I don't know if they do it twice. I don't know if they do it like the first day is one position and then 2 and 3 are different positions, and then day 4 is like day 1. I don't know. But they do move it though. I know that.
Well, that would be good, because I was thinking about that. I'm like, well, if they don't move it, then these guys, after round 1, they know how to play the course. They should all be under par. But
you just hit it the same spot every time. What's so difficult about this?
Right.
Yeah, I really love. I think it's hole 2 at Augusta. I just love watching. Oh, Philly Perk, what's up? Ryan Francis said, watch us some sports game this week. Which sports game, Ryan? Razor Ramon won WrestleMania. I could not care less about WWE stuff. People get pissed about WWE. Ramon did win. It was all over. I follow a bunch of sports pages. People were mad. People had opinions about the WrestleMania this weekend. Like really upset. I don't know why. They're passionate about it, I guess. I don't know. They thought someone else should have won. I don't know. Philly Perks up in the house over at Twitch. What's going on, boss man? What were we talking about? Yeah, I love hole 2 at Augusta. You especially when that pin is on the right side, you have I don't even know how little bit of a space, like 10 to 15 feet of space to drop that ball down in there. There's a sand trap in the front, and if you hit it anywhere in the back, it's just rolling off the back. I love that. I love that pin placement. I love that hole because it's so hard. Like if you put it right next to the pin, that's gonna be like your best shot of the day.
Right.
It is a hard spot to drop that ball in there. But my guilty pleasure, my golf guilty pleasure, is watching Bryson DeChambeau struggle.
He struggled so bad at the Masters. It was so painfully, but yet hysterically to watch.
I was so happy he made the cut so I could just watch him be worse the next couple of days. I got 4 full days of Bryson DeChambeau sucking at golf. And it just made my weekend. I was so happy. I don't know what it is about me and him. We just don't get along. Or I don't get along with him, I guess. I don't know what it is. His short game just sucks so much. It's so bad. And the only reason he's popular is because he can crush a ball like over 400 yards. Doesn't help you if you can't get it on the green and putt. Doesn't help.
Just because you can push it 400 yards doesn't mean you can push it the right direction 400 yards.
I'm gonna drive the green on hole 1. That's all we heard all week last week. Guess what? Nope. Didn't work.
Nope, not even with this 4.5 degree driver.
So which one was it, you or Matt, that said that you liked Hideki? It was like Thursday or Friday. One of you guys said, "Oh, there's Hideki. He's looking good." Was that one of you, or was I talking to maybe somebody else?
I don't think it was me.
Somebody said that.
I thought you mentioned
Hideki.
it.
Nah, because it definitely wouldn't have been me. Because the thing with Hideki that I've always seen in past majors is he'll always be in the top of the leaderboard the first 2 days. He'll make the cut. He'll be like in the top. He'll be tied for 3rd or higher. He's always there.
Yeah.
But then the weekend comes and he disappears. He's just gone. Like something happens. He hits the weekend. And he either starts struggling or other people just start doing better. I don't know what the case is. But and so someone mentioned that Thursday or Friday that he's right there. It's like, nah, he'll fall off. Man, ate my words. I ate it. Because here we are.
Yeah. Yeah, I know I mentioned Si-Woo Kim because of the broken putter.
Big dumb broke his putter.
Putts with a 3-wood the rest of the round. But so, yeah.
Did he 3-putt with the putter and then he broke it? And then he used his 3-wood from there on out? And he didn't bogey after that. He actually putted better with his 3-wood than his putter. Welcome to golf. It's a weird place. So, is there anything else we missed for other sports? We even covered WWE in there for like a millisecond.
Yeah, I don't think so.
All right, just wanted to make sure. Don't want to miss out anything. Hideki was a big deal. The Masters is always a big deal. So, let's move on to NFL news. So I get the banner up. Move on to some NFL stuff because a lot happened. Big week for NFL. That piece of filth. I wrote something else in the notes. Britt Reed, the son of Andy Reid, also he was a former member of the Chiefs coaching staff, has officially been charged with felony DWI for a car crash that resulted in a 5-year-old being critically injured. If he is convicted, he'll serve a max sentence of 7 years in prison. I just really wanted to share that information. Like, he's not convicted yet. From what I'm reading, every single person except the lawyer defending him, which even I'm sure in his head he's probably thinking, I hope he goes to jail. He's got to do his job, but pretty much everybody's saying he's not making it out of this. There's no chance. So I hope he enjoys his 7 years. Yeah.
You do the crime, you gotta pay the time.
Yeah, stupid man. Luckily, the girl lived. I think I haven't really seen a lot of updates. Hopefully, she's doing better these days. It was a while ago. That was Super Bowl weekend that happened.
Yep.
So, just stupid, tragic stuff by the hands of stupid people doing stupid things. And then the other big piece of news. Here we go. Boy, I can't wait. I don't even know if I've gotten your opinion on this. This is going to be fun. Julian Edelman, wide receiver for the New England Patriots, has announced his retirement. He failed a physical. He got knee surgery in the offseason. It basically just didn't take, is how I put it. I don't know if there's a better medical term for it, but virtually got knee surgery. It didn't work. So he was going to miss this season. And he just said, you know what? Screw it. I'm out of here. Said his goodbyes to the New England Patriots. And this guy's story was incredible. Let's just, his story is amazing. Came out of college. He was a quarterback and turned into a wide receiver, taken in the 7th round by the Patriots, and went on to be, a postseason hero. Absolutely incredible postseason accolades. He's only behind Jerry Rice for postseason yardage and receptions. But his regular season stats, not that exceptional. Pretty much, average. Maybe average. So the question that's been floating around is obviously, is he a Hall of Famer? Derf, I would love your opinion. Or do you want me to read all his stats first? What do you want me to do first?
Let's do the stats first.
All right, let's get everyone on the same page because I put everything in here. His final stat line for his career: 620 receptions for 6,866 yards, 11 yards per reception, and 36 receiving touchdowns. 58 rushes for 413 yards, 177 punt returns for 1,986 yards and 4 touchdowns. And his yardage ranks 156th in NFL history, and his receiving touchdowns are tied for 261st. 0 Pro Bowl selections, but he has 3 Super Bowl rings, 1 Super Bowl MVP, and a member of the Patriots 2010 All-Decade team. That means nothing to me. Edelman only led the Patriots 3 times in receiving yards and never put together more than 1,117 yards in a season in 2019, which is his last fully healthy season. And then he had 3 1,000-yard receiving seasons. Yet he was in the league for 11 years. He only had 3 1,000-yard receiving seasons and never scored more than 7 receiving touchdowns in a year. So, with this in everybody's minds, now we have all the stats. It's time to let everybody know, is Julian Edelman a Hall of Famer? Cue the game show music.
No.
No. Okay. Just no.
No.
We're done here.
No. Yeah, I mean, great for the Super Bowl rings. He is a postseason, clutch player. We've also seen that in the Super Bowl before, with a New York Giants receiver who is no longer in the league and completely irrelevant. But if the NFL is going to follow the guidelines that, allows a player to be eligible for the Hall of Fame, there's one thing he's missing, and it's the Pro Bowl selection. He has 0.
11 seasons.
Yep. That's immediately he's not eligible. And if he gets in, then it's complete, I think, BS. He's had a lot of great plays. He's a great player. Is he a Hall of Famer? No.
And we got a suggestion for a name change for the show. Derf and the other guy. How's that? Slap that on a t-shirt.
Oh.
Watch out, Strikeout Boys. Yeah, there's Strikeout Boys now, just so you know. There's your name change. It doesn't say anything about all pro teams in here. I don't know if he's ever made a second pro. If he's never been in a Pro Bowl, I highly doubt he's even been on a first team all pro. Maybe he's been on a second team all pro.
Right.
There's a possibility of that, but it's not mentioned here. He's not. Yeah. You can throw him on whatever you want in the Patriots organization. You can throw him in your Ring of Honor. You can give him you can retire his freaking number. You can do whatever you want. But as the NFL as a whole, put him in the Hall of Fame. Just so we're all on the same page here, Jeremy Maclin has more receptions than Julian Edelman. If everyone remembers who Maclin is, former Eagles wide receiver. Used to play second fiddle to Deshaun Jackson back in the day. Yeah, that guy. There's a lot of people with more receptions and yards than Julian Edelman.
Right.
And then the one that's been floating around social media a lot is Hines Ward.
Yep.
Hines Ward, yardage, receptions, touchdowns, well and above Julian Edelman's stats. And he's not in. 5 years now in a row. He hasn't made it into the Hall of Fame. He almost made the cut. Because I think he hasn't even made the cut for a finalist yet. He was a semifinalist. That's the furthest he's made it, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, son of a bitch. If Hines Ward is not in the Hall of Fame yet, guess what, Julian? You're pretty far back in line, bud. Just so you know. he's not a Hall of Famer. So, and you can say he has 3 Super Bowl rings. Well, so don't a bunch of other Patriots players that were on those teams at that time. But a bunch of them aren't going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
They're just on the team. He was a big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean, what, Tom Brady won 6 while he was there?
Yeah.
And then my last point is just for the beginning part of Julian Edelman's career, he wasn't even a starting wide receiver. He sat behind Wes Welker while he was still there. So he couldn't even beat out Wes Welker to get on the field.
Right.
He's a great player, a great story, very shifty, one of the great slot receivers that we were seeing in his prime. It's just not enough to put you in the Hall of Fame. It's just not. Yeah, Strike Out Beer, how many rings? He's got 3. Thought Hines Ward didn't get in because he did that Batman movie. What? Hines Ward did a Batman movie?
There's a scene in one of the Batman movies where they're like on Heinz Field. I want to say it's The Dark Knight.
Oh, is that the one with Bane?
Yeah, like it's the scene's like at Heinz Field and like the ground like collapses and whatnot. I think not 100% sure on that.
And Heinz Ward was in that scene.
I guess so. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. And he was Super Bowl MVP. That is true. My dad had a theory that Wes Welker and Edelman were the same person. They both had about as many concussions in their careers. That's for sure.
Yep.
Rise of the Dark Knight was the one. I don't know. I'm not a big Batman guy, so
yeah.
I know the scene though at Heinz Field.
Yep.
And that's with Bane. I know that much.
Mm-hmm.
So we're at a consensus here that he's not a Hall of Famer. Great story, great guy, great player, not Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Good stuff. I'm just noticing my background. My background doesn't look as good as it used to. Gonna have to change that up. I was in a rush. I was in a rush, so it doesn't look as good. I'll fix it. Don't worry.
There you go.
A couple of nifty tight end moves. I put this in here just because I thought they were fun. A couple of tight end moves that are just really not important. I thought it was fun. Former LSU tight end Thaddeus Moss, which I believe is the son of Randy Moss, if I'm not mistaken. That's the only reason he's popular and people call him out. He's actually going to Cincinnati. He was he with Washington? Maybe he was somewhere, but he's reuniting with Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. They were teammates at LSU, so that's kind of fun.
Nice.
He's getting another chance. I don't know.
There you go.
I think he went undrafted. Thaddeus Moss did. I don't think he's as good as his dad was. It's not gonna happen. And then Washington, I think they released Moss, so they're like, hey, let's go find another tight end. They picked up Samis. I'm gonna go with Samis. That sounds fun. Okay. Samis Reyes, who was a D1 basketball player who decided this stuff sucks. I'm gonna go play football. And he participated in Florida's Pro Day. And I guess he caught some people's eyes. He is a monster. I don't have a picture of him, but he we just got done shaming the combine and pro days like last week or 2 weeks ago. So, but basically he caught some eyes. His numbers were good. The dude's a big guy. He's like 6'5". He's built to play football. Put it that way. As long as he can catch a ball, he'll be a good addition. But what's really he's going to be one of the first Chilean-born players in the NFL, and if he actually makes the 53-man roster come the season for Washington, he will be the first Chilean-born player to make a 53-man roster.
Nice. Well, let's go. Well, hopefully that happens. It's always fun for a first like that. Yeah.
It's just one of those stories. It's just like cool. The NFL's growing. What's his name? What's that kicker? The kicker for the Falcons. The Asian born player there. What's his freaking name? Oh my Lord! It's that sucks.
Yeah.
Young Koo.
Yeah.
I got
that
young.
one. Yep,
Yeah,
that name.
That guy. One of the first Asian players to play in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
It just shows that the sport is growing, and not only growing to just fan bases, but people in other countries are playing football and becoming like excellent football players and coming to America to play in the NFL. And then NFL's already trying to expand to London. They're trying to play games in China and Mexico. The sport is growing, and I just love seeing more people get involved from different countries, just everything. It's kind of it's cool to watch.
Yeah.
It's kind of just, look at basketball. My God. It's getting to the point like basketball because they got leagues over in Europe and weird places, and then they come and play in the NBA.
Yep.
It's starting to get to the point where the NBA, you can't even pronounce half the people's names. Really, as we can't because they're coming from different countries. So,
yeah.
The NFL's going to start looking like that maybe. Like over here's Samis Reyes. Oh God, it's already getting bad for me. It's kind of like hockey too. The reason we don't talk about hockey is because I can't pronounce any of their names.
Can't pronounce half their names.
I'll spend half the time talking about NHL just trying to pronounce people's names that we're talking about. Yeah, his last name is Koo. I know that.
Yep.
Young? I know it's Young. I don't want to Google it either. I'm too lazy. You're doing great. Ryan Francis, not a lot of people prep work to put into this. No. We talk about like if we put everything we talked about onto paper, the notes would be 10 pages long. It's normally like a page and a half as our notes. Everything else just comes out during the show, and we're 0% prepared for it. That's because I just keep talking. I get myself into trouble because I'm not prepared for it. Something that we are prepared for is our main segment. Oh, what's the name of the show?
Our show? Oh.
I'll just do
looks
this.
Like it says Derfs Dynamic and Detailed something.
There we go. I was just trying to find a bunch of D words. But dope works too.
There you go.
So let's do it. Derf worked tirelessly on this right here. He does this for 2 years in a row now. He's done this. And this is just something that I will never do. But I very much appreciate Derf doing it because you can't be an NFL show without doing some mock drafts, right?
Yeah.
Now, we only do the first round.
Just the first round. I'm not crazy and do like a 4-round mock draft, or I wouldn't even try to attempt a 7-round. But yeah, the first round, is the most seen. So, that's your typically blue chip players. You'll see a lot of them go in the first round. So yeah, took a swing at it again this year, and let's take a look at it.
I mean, there's tabs down here that says data compilation. I mean, this guy found all these other mock drafts, put them in a table, did a thing with the most common. You can see these, like, he's got all kinds of stuff. This dude came prepared, and then obviously he makes his own picks. That's the most important part. We got to see where Derf thinks people are going. So, whenever you're ready, I don't know what part I'm going to play in this. I'll just give my opinion, but this is a Derf segment. I know Strikeout Beer and Ryan Francis are fucking pumped right now. Effing pumped. Sorry. Mark this one explicit.
Well,
we got the first overall pick, Jacksonville. Let's get this party started.
Yeah, well, it is the consensuous pick that is Trevor Lawrence. It makes sense for them. It's more likely what it's going to be, unless there's, some draft day craziness that we hear. But yeah, quarterbacks a need for the Jacksonville, so they're going to have to take it.
Yeah, I don't think they're making the right move here. I'm trying to pull up the recent picture that Gardner Minshew put on his Instagram.
Oh, I saw that one.
I don't know how you don't put this guy in as your starting quarterback right here. How do you not have that guy just primed and ready to go? If I'm a GM, a coach, and this guy's my starting quarterback, I'm not looking at another quarterback for like 20 years. This is my Tom Brady right here. Look at that hair.
Yeah.
No, yeah, Trevor Lawrence. That makes sense. You're not wrong. Trevor Lawrence, he's going to be
Yeah.
I don't want to be the guy that goes around and says generational talent, but I think he's going to be one of the better quarterbacks to come out of the draft in a very long time. Just look around. Look at how many quarterbacks have gone, top 5 that people have said, "Oh, this guy's going to change the NFL," and then they're just like, where are they at? So I think Trevor Lawrence is finally going to be one of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw one, literally last week. Top 5 draft pick quarterback, already on a new team.
Yeah, hurts to see. Who I think it was Derek Carr said that Tua for Miami has Joe Montana-like qualities about him. He said he says he sees Joe Montana in Tua.
Yeah.
I found that interesting.
That is a little interesting.
That's high praise. Mm-hmm. It's maybe just because they were both short. I don't think Joe Montana was Tua short, but he was shorter. Maybe that's the comparison he was going for. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
I feel like that's probably like the one lock for this draft.
Yeah. So I think that's a lock. I think I'm thinking right now number 2 is a lock. I took a deeper dive, right before the Sam Darnold trade. Ironically, I'm like, if they're going to keep Sam Darnold, if the Jets are going to keep Sam Darnold, why are they not going offensive linemen? There's 2 top offensive linemen, that are going to go within the top 15 that the Jets could just pick off and right there. And then, we watch all the other teams scramble because now a quarterback has slipped down the board a little bit. But with Sam Darnold, getting traded, the next best quarterback that I've seen in this draft is Zach Wilson. I think he's going to be beneficial with Robert Saleh and, all of Saleh's coaching staff that came over from the 49ers. I think it's something I think that Saleh's going to want being a new head coach. You want that, that versatile quarterback a little bit there. So, yeah, I think that's about a lock as well, unless something absolutely insane happens on draft night. But, yeah, I would say Zach Wilson from BYU is our number 2 pick here.
Yeah, it makes sense. It seems like a Jets quarterback, I like Zach Wilson. I think I feel like Zach's the kind of guy where he's going to have to be put in a specific situation to succeed.
Yep.
Like, he's in BYU. Mm-hmm. Very good team, strong in that conference. And they kind of dominated their conference. They did well.
Mm-hmm.
This is not BYU. This is the Jets going up against the Bills and facing the Patriots, up and coming Dolphins, and other NFL teams.
Right.
And the Jets are not, they're lacking with talent. We'll put it that way. Mm-hmm. I fear for Zach Wilson where this could just be a repeat. But I do like Robert Saleh. He's a lot better than Adam freaking Gase, obviously.
Right.
But I the pick makes sense. I do think it's right. Yep. I think it's their best option for the kind of team they're going to try and build. Mm-hmm. Godspeed.
Yeah. So number 3, this is the result of the 49ers Dolphins trade to move up to number 3. And, one thing you'll see in my mock draft is I don't predict any draft day trades. These are all trades that have happened before the draft. These are picks that are set in stone, for where the teams are picking. Obviously the 49ers moved up not for a receiver or a corner or an offensive lineman or an edge rusher. They're going for a quarterback. And, I flip back and forth a little bit here between, Trey Lance, Justin Fields. And, I think the 49ers are more likely to go with Justin Fields. I think there's been some, talk with Mac Jones or Trey Lance, has been, kind of tied to that spot. But I think they're going to take Justin Fields in this position. I think they're going to look at the mobility. I know, Jimmy G is who they have now for the 49ers, and, he works in that style offense. Maybe that style offense is not what the 49ers need now. They need, the better mobile quarterback that can, stay in the pocket as well. And I don't think they're going to get that from other quarterbacks in this draft as, maybe as well received as, going for Justin Fields. So, maybe Justin Fields is the first Ohio State quarterback that, doesn't, burn out in the NFL. We can see, but I think that's where the 49ers land there.
I never hope that somebody fails,
Right.
I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, he's gonna suck because he's from Ohio State.
Yeah.
I hope he breaks the trend, but I just can't believe it till I see it,
Mm-hmm.
I just still feel like the 49ers, Kyle Shanahan, Mac Jones just makes sense for their offense.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong. There's been a lot of hate for Mac Jones. I understand it. He's definitely had some overthrows, some weird passes here and there. He's from Alabama. Not a lot of competition. You just go to Alabama and you dominate. So you're going to look good no matter what.
Right.
So I understand, I understand it. If they want to go ahead and listen to the hype around Justin Fields, then go for it. I definitely don't agree with the most commons over there going with Jamar Chase. You do not give up your 2 rounds of future first round picks for a wide receiver. That's not a thing.
Right. So I will, the most commons that are on the side there, I will say that these are, including the last 2 months of mock drafts. So this is, prior to Miami moving back. So Jamar Chase was still the consensuous pick for the Dolphins at 3. So this is, that's the aspect of the mock draft that, I can look at the most common, but then, if there's a trade that happened and teams move around, then I got to say, okay, now what does the team need? What am I thinking they're going to take at this position instead?
Which would be a quarterback for sure.
Right.
Whether it's Justin Fields or Mac Jones. I'm leaning towards Mac Jones.
Yeah.
You want to do a pie to a face bet on it if they take Justin Fields or Mac Jones?
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
Write it down, folks. Write it down. Someone write it down. I got Mac Jones. Derf has Justin Fields. We're gonna make this an official pie to the face bet. I'm gonna clip this later. Here we go. This is gonna be Facebook official, just like a relationship. I can't wait. Very excited. I'm finally excited about something for the NFL draft. Oh my god, it's hard to get excited about the draft sometimes, but I'm here and I'm ready for it. Atlanta at number 4. Some like you just mentioned. No, this is pre-trades, so we're assuming Atlanta's staying at 4.
Yep. Yeah, we're assuming Atlanta's at 4 still. We talked about last week that Atlanta has mentioned that they're open to trades out of that number 4 spot. Nothing surfaced in the past week to make it an official move. I know the Patriots are a team that everyone's looking at to see them move up. Try to correct their draft mistakes. They probably won't. But this is where you can see. I've seen a lot of offensive linemen going at 4 to Atlanta. I've seen quarterback going here. I really think it's going to be quarterback still. I think your first 4 picks are going to be quarterbacks, and then your 5th quarterback in the first round is going to be anywhere, I think still in the top 10 to top 15, overall is going to get picked up. I think Atlanta needs to be looking for a successor to Matt Ryan. They definitely they clearly know that they have a aging team, and it's not going to get better unless you bring in new talent. Bring in the younger players that are on cheaper contracts, ones that you can mold the team around, build through the draft, do it the smart way. And I think this helps, Arthur Smith's, play style. He's going to want to go ground and pound, but adding a more mobile quarterback, I think, is going to help his case in his offensive scheme.
It would definitely change that offense and that team. That's for sure. And I gotta call out. You only reading the comments anyway. Strikeout Beer's taking us for a walk with him. If you guys contribute to the conversation, I'll read your comments. But pretty colors. That's not gonna. I did forget this. I'm so sorry, Dylan. Dylan spelled wrong. Once you find out what Mac is short for, his name doesn't sound nearly as cool. Draft stock goes down. What Mac is short for? Oh, I didn't even read that comment. What is this? What is this short for?
I don't have a clue.
Yeah, you gotta let me. You gotta fill me in because I must have missed. I must have missed that meme. It would definitely change their offense. I also wouldn't be shocked if they go defense because, like you said, their needs are cornerback, safety, and edge. Their defense sucks. Mm-hmm. The Atlanta defense has been terrible for a while. They do need a successor to Matt Ryan, so they might go quarterback first. If they drop down out of 4, if they do trade out, then I think they try and go defense. Whoever they end up trading with, like I'm just looking, like they got Caleb Farley and Patrick Surtain. Mm-hmm. If I said his name right, those are obviously the top 2 corners. I wouldn't be surprised if they went that route if they did drop down. So, All right, Cincinnati.
I think their top priority this year is, get Joe Burrow support on the offensive line. I have, there's talk between, the 2 top offensive tackles. I think, Penny Sewell from Oregon goes first. Rashawn Slater, I think he's going to be up there. He's definitely going, I think, in the first round. But I think Sewell goes first. So I think Cincinnati, I think it's smart of them to take offensive linemen here. There's been speculation that the Bengals are going to take Kyle Pitts or, something, a receiver. It's just not what they should do. Support that line. You have a young generational talent quarterback who just blew apart his knee, and you have to give him protection. You can't have this quarterback who's got all the talent in the world, not be able to be protected. So, I think it's an easy choice for the Bengals. Obviously, we'll see what happens, on draft night. But yeah, definitely Penei Sewell to the Bengals.
Like you said, your quarterback, your young quarterback that was on his way to Rookie of the Year, blew his knee out because you can't protect him worth a damn.
Yep.
Like, what a slap in the face it would be to him. If you get Penei, like this is your offensive tackle for the next 10 years, if not longer. This is the kind of guy that you just pay and you say, have a nice time. Just stand in this spot and block people. That's what offensive linemen, that drafting these kinds of offensive linemen in these situations, it's not a sexy pick, but it secures a spot on your offensive line. And it's just so important. It's not sexy, but it's so important. And there's no other option for the Bengals here. They have to take him. Unless there's a shocking pick and someone takes Penei before them, I don't see it happening, but then that would suck. But if he's still there at 5, yeah, you have to take him.
Yep.
And apparently it's McLovis? What? Is this a true story? I think I need to get our I-team on this.
Interesting.
Yeah, you're going to have to figure. Let's talk about who Miami's picking. It's Brandon's boys is the Bengals. He's very excited. What's up, Randall? Welcome to the show. I missed it. Can you redo the whole show? I'm sorry. Our guest already left, so we can't do the whole show. Like, sexy. Big guys are sexy, too. Penei Sewell's a sexy man. He's like 325, all muscle. He's like,
there you go.
He's like the DK Metcalf of offensive linemen. So I'm going to look up his full name while you cover who Miami's taking.
Yeah, so Miami at 6. This is the result of not only the 49ers trade with Miami, but then also the Philadelphia trade with Miami to move back up into the top 10. I think the Dolphins have a lot of, I think they have a lot of good players on the team, a lot of good situations going on. And if they really want to help Tua this year, they have to go wide receiver. I think Jamar Chase is probably the top receiver in the draft. So I think that's where he's going to go. He was the consensus pick to Miami. at number 3. So, he's only moving down to 6. You could see another team taking him. You could see Atlanta taking him. You could see Cincinnati taking him. But I think those two teams have other needs that they should, you would think they would address early on in the draft, other than wide receiver. The Dolphins could go offensive lineman here. I really think they're going to go wide receiver with Jamar Chase out of LSU, and I think it'll work. I think it'll work with Tua. Help him, make his progression in the NFL.
Yeah, I just don't think there's enough offensive line talent around to justify, unless Penny fell. If Penny fell to Miami, oh my God, please draft him. They definitely need to protect Tua better. Whoever's back there better. But Jamar Chase is going to be a great wide receiver. It sucked that it doesn't suck. We didn't get to see him last season because he opted out. But before that, he was a great wide receiver. So we're excited to see what he can put out in the field in the NFL, whoever takes him. But man, if they win offensive line, I just don't think Slater or Vera Tucker are top 10 picks. I don't think they're that good.
Right.
To pass on Jamar Chase. I don't think that's worth it. So
right. And there's been talks that, Slater, there's been, rankings of the, top offensive lineman position here, where people have Slater above Sewell. I don't see it yet.
No.
Everything that I've seen, Sewell is the top offensive lineman here. I think, like you said, Slater and Vera Tucker, I think they're going to be great additions to teams who draft them, but not in the top 10. I think you're looking at your team, mid first round draft picks, where there are teams that need offensive linemen that are going to, grab them up really quick because, they're there and they're available.
Absolutely. So Detroit needs help everywhere.
Yes, because when they get knocked down, they're going to bite the guy's kneecap and keep going.
They need a lot of knee biters on that team. So where in these guys' draft profiles do they say they are knee biters? Because that's what they're looking for. He ran a 4.8 40. He had a 30-inch vert, and this dude will bite the hell out of your knees.
Oh, well, I think they got a great knee biter here in Micah Parsons. He opted out last year, just like Jamar Chase. He is considered the top linebacker in this draft, which I completely agree with that. If it wasn't for all the teams that needed quarterback in the top 5 picks, top four picks or so, you could see Micah Parsons moving up, into that top 3 range. So I think it's a great pick for Detroit at number 7. There's been some mock drafts where he has slid down to the 20s in first rounds. I guess there's some character concerns that some teams are having with him. But I think this is a great linebacker, that's going to, help Detroit not be as terrible as they probably will be.
I don't know who Detroit has for linebackers. They definitely need someone to get into the middle of that field.
Yep.
And be ready to bite kneecaps and bark orders. And Mike, he can be that person. I've been following him for a while. He's been one of my favorite defensive players in college football. Mm-hmm. I watched a couple Penn State games just to see where he was, just to watch him play.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. He sophomore year, he immediate presence on that field, for Penn State. So
you didn't really have to look for him. You found him.
Yep. Yeah.
So good.
But yeah.
Ryan likes Dolphins. Our next segment's going to be esports with Ryan. We might have to discuss that. I've always wanted to do esports. Maybe we have to talk about that.
All right.
Onlyfans.com/strikeoutbeer. Oh, I did close it. You're just messing with me. Okay. I had it open earlier. Getting a sneak peek of that. Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl. Get out of here. Stop it. Jets for the win in the year 2067. TJ, are you really a Jets fan? I'm curious. I don't know if I think he might be messing with me.
Yeah.
Might be messing with me. Okay, what do we got? Carolina. This is a fun pick for Carolina.
This is a fun pick for Carolina. it's been kind of all over the place, where Carolina goes. I think still in the most recent events with Carolina, with getting Sam Darnold, I still think they go quarterback. So the next logical choice for quarterback is Mac Jones out of Alabama. I think it's an improved Teddy Bridgewater. I think Bridgewater's days are really limited with the Panthers now. With Sam Darnold coming down there, I think, make it a quarterback competition, let them battle it out. Maybe Mac Jones beats out Sam Darnold. Who knows? But I think that provides a healthy environment, for the Panthers. They're in it for the long haul right now. So why not get another quarterback that, you can let them grow in the organization, and they have the skill set that the Panthers are looking for, which I think Mac Jones has. Teddy Bridgewater, he's not the most mobile guy. He's very much a pocket passer now, and I think Mac Jones fits that role no problem.
Yeah, Teddy was a pocket passer. Sam Darnold's a pocket passer.
Yep.
Mac Jones, pocket passer. Very good pocket awareness as well for Mac Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I had him going earlier to San
Mm-hmm.
Francisco. So if maybe Justin Fields is here, Trey Lance is here, I wouldn't be shocked if they do take a quarterback. They did a lot of their whole draft last year was defense. So I wouldn't be shocked if this year they just said, okay, we built a pretty decent defense, drafted, we got these young guys on the way up.
Yep.
Let's hit the offensive side of the ball this year.
Mm-hmm.
They can either go quarterback, or I even think, Kyle Pitts could go here. The Panthers do not have a tight end presence on the field. They just don't.
Yep.
And they haven't since Greg Olson left. Well, even when Greg Olson was there, for those last couple of years, wasn't really there. I wouldn't be shocked if Kyle Pitts goes here. If they want to just get Devontae Smith in there, get another wide receiver threat, because they lost. They didn't lose Samuel. They lost one of their wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
So they could try replacing him with Devontae Smith. I wouldn't be shocked with that.
Right.
But yeah, quarterback, I wouldn't be surprised, because if Teddy doesn't stick around, they definitely need a backup still. So if they do want to bring up a quarterback, Mac Jones, just any of them, whoever's there at number 8, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yep. So yeah, I definitely have to agree there. So number 9 with the Denver Broncos. This is another team that you could see them take a quarterback possibly. I don't think they do. I think John Elway's kind of stuck on Drew Lock right now. They're gonna ride that train as far as possible until it's off the tracks and stuck in the mud. So I think this is, they look to the defensive side for the Broncos, and this is actually kind of a risky pick for the Broncos to take Caleb Farley out of Virginia Tech, because he literally just had a back procedure before his pro day, which is the reason why he didn't perform in his pro day. And he's supposed to be ready by training camp, and so that's a team's health physician, doctor. They got to check him out, and a lot of teams are going to be asking, is he going to be cleared to play this season? Has he lost any of his step from the college tape that we've seen? But a lot of analysts are saying that Caleb Farley is like the top corner in the draft. I've seen him as high as 9 here. I've seen him all the way to 32. I've seen him not in the first round, just because there's so much of a risk. But I think John Elway likes taking risks like this and hoping they pan out. And so I think they're gonna take the theoretically top corner in the draft.
It was the same thing with Bradley Chubb too.
Yeah,
he had a mix of injury and personality problems coming out of his draft, and they still took him. So
yep,
yeah, definitely risk takers over there in Denver. If they want to take that risk, go for it. But they're sick in corner. Yeah, Surtain and J.C. Horn are both also top corners for sure. I think they were the top 2 single coverage rated corners in the league. I'm not sure where Caleb stood on that, but I know he was good. I just wasn't sure if he was top 10 good. That's just me not knowing college football very well, though.
Right.
But apparently, if everyone else is saying he's here, then
yeah.
I mean, if a quarterback falls this far, if one of them falls, they have a decision to make. But if they really want to stick with Drew Lock, I'll pray for him. But they still got Vic Fangio there.
Yep.
Vic Fangio loves his defense. That's what he's built on, his bread and butter. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens. Denver ain't doing anything this season anyway, says Strike Up here. Yeah,
they're in the developmental stage still.
Wah, wah, wah.
But yeah, so I think I kind of touched on it a little bit here, but with Denver, but Dallas, I think they're going to be looking at that defensive side as well. I think not only because they paid so much on the offensive side, to keep players, so you got to kind of balance out the talent here now. So I think they're going to go with Patrick Surtain, out of Alabama. I think he's going to be, I think it's going to be back-to-back cornerbacks here. But I think it makes sense for Dallas. I think their defense just gave up so much to not great teams. So yeah, I think that's their move at 10.
Yeah, Dallas this year needs to do what Carolina did last year. Just draft all defense. You need depth on defense. You need starters on defense. You need everything on defense. Dallas needs help. So that'd be a great pick for them. Just so everyone knows, Michael McCorkle Jones is his full name. McCorkle. Yikes.
Interesting.
I don't like him now either. What do we got here? The Giants are up next.
Giants, yeah. Giants are adding some weapons on the offensive side for Daniel Jones to get better. I think this is going to be your second receiver. The Heisman Trophy winner here with Devonta Smith. He's in that top 2-3 receivers in this draft. So I think it's a very smart choice. For the Giants to go this route. You've seen the talent starting to grow on the offense for the Giants, and I think this just adds another weapon to just help Dave Gettleman prove that Daniel Jones was the right pick.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I'm not going to sit here and say that's a bad pick. If they took Smith, it's obviously a need. I think they have some talent. Yeah, a lot of offensive talent for the Giants. A lot of it normally just gets injured. Like last year, it seemed like their entire offense was just injured at one point. There wasn't any starters on the field. So I feel like if they think, man, if we just stay healthy, we got it under control, then I think this is where another offensive lineman would go, because they need to block better for Saquon. They need to block better for the sake of Daniel Jones. I would not be surprised if Slater or Vera Tucker went here, but if they went wide receiver, I wouldn't be surprised or disappointed. Either one is fine. Yeah.
Yeah, they could definitely go off at the lineman there, but I think they're going to go weapons here, so then go with the wide receiver route.
They're rivals.
Yeah, here we go. In the NFC least, we go. Let's look at the Eagles, who moved from 6 to 12 with the Dolphins, part of that mega 3-team trade that happened, a couple weeks ago. And, the tight end's not really a need right now that they, it's not been, identified as a need for the team. But Kyle Pitts is such a good talent here. And the fact that, in this mock draft, he's fell to 12. The Eagles moved back for a reason. They not only got picks, but to help rebuild this roster. After losing Carson Wentz, sending Carson Wentz to Indy, new coaching staff. I think they're gonna go Kyle Pitts here. Tight end out of Florida. I think it makes sense. I think it's kind of like take best available situation. Because they're already at 12, and Kyle Pitts isn't off the board yet. I mean, Pitts can go. He can go in the top 10. I think there's not not a reason there that he wouldn't go in the top 10. If a team doesn't, they go a different route. But I think the Eagles, I think Kyle Pitts is a good fit. On top of that, there's been, the speculations, we hear the trade rumors, that Zach Ertz is trying, potentially could be getting out of Philadelphia. And we know that's been a month or so, since those rumors came about, right around free agency. But I still think they're going to go tight end because they're going to want to, put that talent around Jalen Hurts. And they have Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz, but I think this is a best available. It's good to have another tight end on that team for them. I think they have they're in that rebuilding phase, so get that young talent around there.
And Zach Ertz is out the building for sure. It just feels like it's only a matter of time now.
Right.
Great addition, great weapon.
Mm-hmm.
I have zero problems with this. They can take anyone else. Like you said, best available. So if someone falls out of the top 11 that they want, then maybe they grab them. But if Kyle Pitts is here, yeah, I'm looking at some of the other options here. You got Caleb Farley corner, Surtain corner. They definitely need defensive help. But they need help everywhere. So
yeah,
if Kyle Pitts is really going to be as good as they think he's going to be, it's a good addition.
Yeah.
And Strikeout Beer said, in the country, people give their kids middle names from their maternal grandparents' last name. So McCorkle is a last name, but it's his middle name. So he has a last name as his middle name. I feel I have heard that before. Hi, Darren. Darren, what's your middle name? Everyone, tell me what their middle name is, real quick. Middle names in the chat. While we start the LA Chargers first round draft pick.
I think this is a smart choice for the Chargers at 13. Take the next best available offensive lineman. I think it's the same situation, with the Bengals, with Joe Burrow. Give Justin Herbert the support up front that he needs to develop, because the Chargers have seen his talent. He's kept them in games. He's, literally almost brought them to winning multiple games close. And I think, offensive line is going to be great. It's going to help, support that run game, with with Eckler there. And, it's going to, just help this team overall. And I think, this is slightly, another rebuild situation. And I think it's a great choice. You get a lot of, you'll see a lot of offensive linemen come out of the Big Ten Conference. That's a typical conference that you see a lot of, run smashing, big offensive linemen. So I think it's another good choice here for the Chargers.
Yeah, it's definitely a need. Mm-hmm. I don't think they were the worst offensive line, but just strictly, again, I don't know if he's going to be as good as Penny early, with the Bengals. But It's just one of those guys that you can hand a contract after the rookie contract and just keep him where he's at.
Yep,
8 to 10 years, maybe even longer. Just sit here, protect our guy. We'll pay. Have a good time.
Yep.
So good addition. That's just what I love about offensive linemen. There's never any drama with offensive linemen. It's just do your job well. Sit here. We'll pay you. Bam.
Yep. Yep.
And Darren Clark's middle name is Len, short for Leonard, was my maternal grandfather's name. There you go.
Interesting.
So Minnesota following in some some similar footsteps.
Yeah. We got another offensive lineman off the board for Minnesota. I think it makes sense. They just paid Dalvin Cook. They need to, give Kirk Cousins all the time in the world to make a competent pass. So they're going to go with Elijah Vera Tucker out of USC, an offensive lineman. So, I think you're going to have teams, they are going to take what they need, not the flashiest player available. These teams that, just at the edge of missing the playoffs, I think you're going to see a lot of that. They're going to build from the trenches out, which makes sense because, that's where you need that talent initially.
Yeah, I feel like a reason we're going to see a lot of offensive linemen go, and unfortunately, it's a defensive line soft draft this year.
Yep.
It just seems like there's no one that really blows your mind.
Right.
But we always see the draft often reflects what we see in that year's Super Bowl. You ever get that feeling? Like if you see like a wide receiver go off for an offense, just have an explosive day, you'll see a lot of like quarterback people trying to find the quarterback that they want. If it's, after Patrick Mahomes got drafted, it's like, oh, everyone needs a Patrick Mahomes. We're going to go get all these quarterbacks. Or if, wide receivers, offense heavy. We're seeing people, man, we need to shore up our offensive line. Yep. If we have to go against a defensive front like the Bucs have, we're going to need to shore up this offensive line. And that's kind of what we're seeing. So I love the pick for Minnesota. I think they have needs where this isn't going to completely solve it, but it'll help.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, New England at 15, haven't seen them that high in the draft in a long time.
Feels good. I love it.
It does feel good. It's not necessarily a need, a direct need that, New England has seen, but obviously it's a need in order, to make up for them literally paying their quarterback more money than he should ever have gotten in the next 5 years. So I think they're going to go with Jalen Waddle, out of Alabama. He's a top 5 wide receiver, in this draft for sure. But this is another position where you could see quarterback, depending on how the quarterbacks fall, depending on where we see trades on, draft night. But yeah, I think they're going to go receiver. Usually Bill Belichick goes, defensive side in the first round, majority of the time. But I think they're going to have to make a splash, and go receiver here for sure.
Yeah, I don't even know what they need at this point. The offense is definitely lacking anything. So
right.
I'm fine with Waddle. I still have my doubts just because of his size, and I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'm kind of in the same boat with Waddle as Devontae Smith.
Yep.
I'm kind of still sitting and waiting and seeing what their impact will be at an NFL level, but they just got to kind of pick him and pray that he makes a very big difference because their offense is anemic.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so, Arizona, another up and coming team, just missed the playoffs last year at 16 here. I think they're going to fill probably one of their top needs here, at corner, taking, another one of those, considered blue chip tier, cornerbacks in the NFL draft here with J.C. Horn out of South Carolina. So I think it's a good pick. I think, this is still a young team that's, last year they went with Isaiah Simmons in the first round. So they're definitely, they're building some of these edge pieces, building, these places where, you could end up overpaying guys, by a lot, when you're entering free agency. Fill them with draft right now, fill them with that young talent at a cheap price, out of the draft, building there. So I think it's a good fit, for the Cardinals there.
I mean, I hate the pick because I don't need another young corner that can keep up with Seattle's wide receivers
with Metcalf and Lockett.
Yeah, I don't need that in my life, but no, it's a solid pick. Like I said a little bit earlier, he's one of the top single covered, corners in college football. So it'll be a great pick for them. Just shoring up a defense that's just getting stronger. They used to have a pretty bad defense. We used to be able to pick on them, but they've had a couple pieces. Isaiah Simmons going into his second year. Budda Baker's obviously one of the best safeties in the league.
Yep.
Starting to turn a corner and getting J.C. Horn would make it very spooky.
Oh yeah, definitely. So yeah, well, plus they can't spend too much money on the defensive side anymore because they paid J.J. Watt all that money.
For some godforsaken
reason. They got to get it. They got to get the talent on the cheap side now.
Yeah, it's all coming through the draft now.
So the Raiders, I think this is a best available situation here. Not necessarily a need, but let's see if I can get this name right. So I think
Godspeed.
I think the Raiders are going to take Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah out of Notre Dame. So I'm also really interested to see how that name looks on the back of a jersey, because that is going to be almost, you're going to be doing the rainbow with the name because it's going to be so long.
They fit that one guy on there. Jeez, he was like a Hawaiian-born player, and they fit his name back there.
Yeah.
So I think they'll be okay here. It'll definitely be tight. I can't wait for the announcers though. If he gets a strip sack, picks up the fumble, they're gonna have to say his name like 3 times in a row. It's gonna be like this really weird tongue twister.
Right.
Good luck.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't seen a ton of linebackers come out of Notre Dame in the last 5-6 years. So this is one of that, like, this is that top tier linebacker situation. So definitely think it's the best available, here.
Yeah, they went wide receiver last year. They could still definitely use some help.
Mm-hmm.
I think offensive line is a big need for them right now. They gave away, it seems like, their whole offensive line. It used to be like a top 10 offensive line, and then it's just like, we'll blow this up. So if they wanted to go Jenkins here, I would be okay. He's the next best available offensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
But if they just want best available, sure,
right,
I'd go for it. I guess I don't know. I don't love that pick, but it's the most common one as well. Other people are picking it.
Right.
I don't think it makes sense, but that's fine. Whatever. I'm not. So, this is why I don't do draft stuff. To me, that makes no sense, but that's fine. I don't care. I don't.
So at 18, we get Miami's second pick in the first round. They went receiver. Starting out, I think now they're going to go on that defensive line, situation with Kwity Paye, out of Michigan. I think it's a good pick. They, got rid of Kyle Van Noy last year, this offseason, and, they're going to need some edge talent. They picked up Shaq Lawson last year, in 2020. So they're going to, how good of a pick that is. It was okay. He wasn't bad, but when he was in the Bills, he was a Rex Ryan pick because he was out of Clemson, and it never panned out super well with McDermott's scheme. So good for him to go to another team and still get another chance and play decently. But I think it's a good pickup for the Dolphins. They have to do something on the defensive line side in order to stop Josh Allen twice a year, because that's who they're playing. That's who they need to beat in the AFC East is the Bills. So yeah, I think it's a good pick here.
They definitely need edge presence.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know who Kwity Paye is. My lack of college football knowledge is going to start to show here later down the road in these picks, but it's definitely a need. I 100% agree with that. They had almost no. There was a couple of times last year where the defense just completely wreaked havoc.
Yeah.
There was other times it was like, okay, well, where's that team that just had like 6 sacks? What happened? Where'd they go? Because now they're getting ran all over. So it's kind of up and down. But yes, if they want to have any hopes of containing Josh Allen in that offense, they're gonna need more of an edge presence. They're good in the middle. Linebackers aren't terrible. The departure of Van Noy is a little that sucks, but it was good for the money, good for the Dolphins' money. Yeah. Ryan Francis asked me, why do I wear so many clothes on the podcast? We had a guest tonight, so I had to put an actual article of clothing on. So wanted to come across as professional, although we all know I'm not. So. Well, we got Washington up next.
Washington at 19. Zaven Collins, linebacker. I think that defense was great last year. I think Ron Rivera is still going to go defensive side in the draft. You could see him going receiver. I don't think quarterback. I think if they were still at 19 and all the other 5 quarterbacks were already taken, it would really be a reach for the Washington football team. So I really think, I think they're going to go defensive side. They could go offensive lineman here. I think with Ron Rivera, he's going to go defense. He wants that commander on the defensive side. He's going to go linebacker and, get that young talent that, he can mold into his system. So that's who I have going to Washington.
It's kind of tough having your defensive leader on the defensive line, especially on the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they have Chase, I believe is his name.
Chase Young.
Yeah, Chase Young. He's obviously the leader, and they have another pass rusher. Not remembering his name right now. They also all their leaders seem to be on the defensive line.
Yep.
It makes it a little tough.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this will be a great addition. Throw him in the linebacking core. Really make him their leader, and then you can have your defensive lineman go back to just being monsters and not having to run the defense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of the pick.
Yeah.
Darren's going to go play Fortnite with your granddaughter. Have fun, Darren. Thanks for tuning in, brother.
So 20 with Chicago. We're looking at. I'm predicting that Gregory Rousseau.
Sure.
I don't know, edge player. It is a defensive lineman soft, draft, like you said. So I think he's, only the third or fourth edge player we've seen off the board in the first draft here. So, there's going to be some teams that reach this. This could be a reach. I see he was the most common. During my first analysis of the data. For my mock draft, Greg Newsome has been a name that's been popping up more for Chicago with, at corner. They could go that. It's possible, but I think edge might be better for them. Give them someone with Khalil Mack. You need that 1-2 punch down near the trenches there, to help that team survive, because it's really all about survival right now with Matt Nagy.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, the Bears just got done letting go of another one of their edge rushers for cap space reasons. I don't remember their name. They've really lost a lot of bite on their defense recently. They lost one of their corners.
Yep.
So they need to start rebuilding the defense, and this would be a good start. I'm not familiar with the player, but if he's a first round talent, Godspeed. That'd be a great pick for Xavier Collins for Washington, coming from our local Eagles fan. Yeah, I definitely agree with them going edge. They could definitely go corner as well. I think they could go anywhere on the defense, because I think they've lost at least one player on every level of their defense. So if they want to start up front, I'm fine with it.
Yeah. So moving on to the Colts, they just got Carson Wentz. Phillip Rivers retired. They have a decently solid team here. I think this is let's just shore up that the secondary and the defense there, because I think they have the offensive line talent. They have the talent on the offensive side, whether it's wide receiver or running back or tight end. They have it there. So now the key is for Frank Reich to really get Carson Wentz to kind of hone in his skills. Play like he did when Frank Reich was, with the Eagles back in 2017. So I think they're going to go corner here. Greg Newsome is another corner, who's been, I've seen him all over the draft board. I've seen him as high as like 9 or 10. I've also seen him, as low as 29 or so, with Green Bay. But I think it's a good fit for him. I think it's something that they can, it's one of those players that you can use, a plug and play player. Get the value out of him when you need him. It's built to the draft. But yeah, that's who I have for Indianapolis.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Their offense is not terrible. If they wanted to go ahead and ruin Tennessee's plans, if they want to take Bateman. They want to add another wide receiver because they know T.Y. Hilton's he's working his way downhill here pretty quickly.
Yep.
I'd be fine with that. But I think they know that they can get other wide receivers later in the draft.
Right.
It's going to be tough to find a quality corner, a starting corner, a rookie outside the first round. So this is a good pick. It's definitely a need.
Right. Yeah. So like you said, they could go receiver and ruin Tennessee's day, because Tennessee's gonna need a receiver. So that's why I have them picking, Rashad Bateman out of Minnesota.
Bateman, though.
So yeah, he's been talked about a lot, and he's one of those fluctuating players in these mock drafts. So he could go. He could go to New England. He could go all the way up to 10. You could go to Dallas. You could see him going to the Giants. You could see some of these receivers. I think we're going to see a lot of swing. Into where they get taken. We saw it last year in last year's draft. With Ruggs and Jerry Jeudy, and it was like they were about where they should be drafted. But then if a team was like, yeah, we want this guy instead, then then these guys start dropping and flipping, and we're flipping where where they're going to go. So I think there's still a chance that they could be a different receiver falling at this point at 22. But I think Rashad Bateman's a good fit for the Titans here, to help Ryan Tannehill, out on that offensive side. They don't need help at the run game. They need the help in the passing game. And I think that's a good fit for them.
Yeah, I think that'd be an amazing addition next to A.J. Brown, Corey Davis, a couple others. I love it. Big fan. Unfortunately, there's no tight ends. I would tell them to take a tight end if there was one, but a defensive line and tight ends, Godspeed. You're not going to find one here unless there's like some diamond in the rough somewhere.
Not this year. It'll be definitely tough this year.
Dylan missed a chunk, and I can't really see your board. Oh, I'm sorry. But I could see them taking Tevin Jenkins. Okay, yeah, we'll get there. Corey Davis is a Jet. Oh, my bad. Sorry about that. Who do they have there then? Corey Davis ain't with Tennessee anymore?
No, just A.J. Brown.
Oh, shit. Shoot.
I think there's some other players. Obviously, there's other receivers there, but I don't know who they are.
Well, speaking of the Jets, who are they taking?
The Jets, with their second pick, which came from Seattle, they are taking the Azeez Ojulari, edge out of Georgia. That's a Robert Saleh pick there. He's going to want the defensive player. They know they have a second pick in the first round, so they're not going to go defense at number 2. They'll get their quarterback they want, and then because they still have that extra pick in the first round, they're going to go defensive side now. And they're going to get that, that pass rusher they need, because that's what a lot of the teams in the AFC East are going to need that have these young teams. They need those edge rushers, and I think it's a good fit for him. Coming out of Georgia, he's had pretty good stats here. But yeah, that's definitely that is the Robert Saleh pick right there. Trying to build the team that he wants.
He loves his defense, obviously.
Yes.
Big defensive fan over 49ers, over the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
I was just surprised when he became a head coach, because I feel like he's built to just love defense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So I hope the Jets are okay on offense. I'm trying to think about which way how to phrase this.
Right.
But yeah, he's definitely going to be focusing in on the defense after they get their quarterback there at number 2.
Yep.
And going back to Tennessee, yeah, these guys need some freaking help. Holy shit. A.J. Brown, and then they have Josh Reynolds, who came over from the Rams. And Cameron Bateson. And then after that, it's just a slew of people that you may have heard of at some point. Marcus Johnson and Chester Rogers. Pretty sure one of them came from the Colts. Nick Westbrook Akeen. Cody Hollister, Rashad Davis, Mason Kinsey. These guys need some help.
Yeah, they need a first-round receiver for sure.
100%. Holy cow. Whew. All right.
Yeah.
So going back to what Dylan said, we have the Steelers here going offensive line after one of their retirements.
Yeah. Yeah, the Pouncey twins, calling it a day and retiring. I think Pittsburgh is going to go offensive lineman here, with Tevin Jenkins. You'll see a lot of offensive linemen come out of the Big 12 as well. And, it's, Big 12 has a lot of offensive power, teams. So you're going to see those offensive linemen, their draft stock will go up without a doubt as the draft gets closer. And I think, the fact that, they are keeping, Big Ben didn't retire. He's going on for at least another year. They got to protect him a little bit because he is slow as molasses. And they got to get, as much as they can out of him playing quarterback for them this year, because I think next year it's going to fall hard for the Steelers, where they're going to be looking for another quarterback. So I think that they're going to go lineman here. I think it fills a hole that they lost in the free agency / retirement, situation. So I think it's one of those kind of safe picks for them.
Yeah, again, no problems there at all. Definitely with the situation. Losing Bud Dupree sucks.
Mm-hmm.
They got a couple of defensive holes now. They lost James Conner. Running back is a huge need for them as well.
Mm-hmm.
I would not take a running back in the first round, so I'm fine with them not taking one here. I'm just saying that's definitely a need. But that goes hand in hand with drafting an offensive lineman, draft a running back later on in the draft, and then that's a great little 1-2 punch there for their offense.
Mm-hmm.
Number 25, we get to revisit Jacksonville.
Yeah, this is the first round pick they got from the Jalen Ramsey trade. This is still going on.
Sad.
Yeah, the Rams have no draft picks. So I got the Jacksonville is going to go on the defensive side. They went with Trevor Lawrence, the consensuous, number 1 pick. I see them going safety here with Trayvon Moehrig out of TCU. I think it's, they're going to look for that defensive side, to complement the offense they're building, when they bring Trevor Lawrence in. And, I'm sure Urban Meyer is going to be all about getting that commanding safety, that versatile safety that can play, at linebacker, playing those coverage, covering a tight end, playing 4 quarters, with the corners, when they're playing deep, being able to, make that safety blitz, at any given time. So I think this is another new coach situation, and with multiple picks in the first round, so they're gonna do one on one side of the football, and then then their later picks gonna be on the other side, because I think there's options there for them. In this draft, there's options at safety, and I think this is the safety that they're gonna take.
The position is good.
Mm-hmm.
They've already brought in a couple corners via free agency, including Shaquille Griffin out from Seattle.
Yep.
So if they want to build the safety from the draft, I'm good with that. I find it. I don't know if Moehrig's a first round talent. I mean, obviously this is a consensual pick here. Everyone else is a fan. I feel like they could have waited until the second round.
Right.
I mean, they're right there, but that's fine. I'll move on from that. I think they could have waited another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more picks to get him. I think that would have been. I think they would have made it. But that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine. Yeah. Fine. Whatever. Do whatever you want. What about Cleveland? The Orange, the Dogs. Oh,
Dogs.
Hold on. Oh my God. Hold on. Before Brandy gets mad at me, he said share bomb. More Derf. Derf's running the show. Okay. I'll just leave. You want me to leave? It'll just be on and off the field with Derf. Strikeout beer. Wait, we're talking about football? Unfortunately for you, we're talking about football. All right. Cleveland,
the dog pound here. There's talks with, Jadeveon Clowney possibly going to the Browns. I don't think that it's terrible. The fact that he's, it could be quote unquote imminent that he goes there. But I think that Cleveland's going to look at, they're going to see these edge rushers starting to, drop off the board, quickly in this, second half of the first round. And so I think they're going to be like, well, we need someone to, complement Myles Garrett. We need that edge, to have the talent there. So I think that's why they're going to go with the Jalen Phillips here, out of Miami. I think it's, Kyle Stefanski. I think he's gonna want to go defense, being this late in the first round, try to get that blue chip defensive player, and then I think he's gonna stockpile offensive players, in the mid to later rounds, in the draft here. So that's why I got edge here for the Browns.
Yeah, who can hold the guy still so he can get a clean hit with a helmet in his hand? Yeah, we got to draft somebody who's willing to rip the helmet off the opposing quarterback and smack him in the head with it.
Yep.
Jalen Phillips is that man, apparently. That's a good pick. Even if Clowney goes there or doesn't go there, Clowney will eventually get hurt or just stop playing. I think that's a great addition to be on the other side from Myles Garrett. I have no problems with that pick whatsoever.
All right. So 27 with the Ravens. I think we saw the demise of Lamar Jackson. I think I saw, at least I saw the demise of Lamar Jackson not having offensive talent around him, on the edges, in the game. So I think that's why they're going to go receiver here. You can say, they're tight end focused, passing game. That only worked for so long until a team shuts down your tight ends, and then you have nobody on the edge to, take advantage of these, of a smaller corner of a team that might have a inefficient secondary. So this is why I'm going with them with the offensive side here with the receiver, with Terrace Marshall out of LSU. So we're kind of seeing here, Alabama, a couple of receivers, LSU, a couple of receivers. But I think these are your top tier schools that generally produce, quality receivers for the most part.
Yeah, they unfortunately couldn't bring in any free agent wide receivers.
Yeah.
I don't know why people don't want to go to Baltimore. There's all these free agent wide receivers that say they're going to visit Baltimore, and they do, and then they just come out without a contract. I don't know if Baltimore's like struggling with money. They couldn't get a deal done because they couldn't fulfill their desires for money.
Right.
But I guess this is the time to build. Go ahead and grab your first round wide receiver talent. Terrence Marshall's good. LSU, he was a stud. Sure. If Lamar Jackson can get him the ball, that'd be great. Dylan said it would be great value for Cleveland to get Phillips, and he thinks Phillips will actually go before Rousseau. So Chicago and Cleveland might be swapping edge rushers, maybe.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe. We'll see. I like Phillips. I'm not for some reason I just don't know Rousseau's name as much.
Yeah.
So maybe they do swap. I don't know. For some reason, I'm just more familiar with Phillips. They went to the same damn school, but I'm more familiar with Phillips. Makes sense, right? Brandon's eating chicken, and he's asking what sides you would complement a good country-style fried chicken. You get 2.
I feel like mashed potatoes is a given. I don't know.
Yeah, taters and gravy for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm going to throw mac and cheese in there. That's what I would pick.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That is a good one. I was trying to think of a green vegetable to go with it, but
probably like collards. Do you like collards?
Never had them.
Oh, okay. Hey.
I feel like that's something that goes with it.
There it is.
Oh, there we go.
And he explained it. That's why. Rousseau opted out. So yeah. Makes sense. Green beans are substituted needed. There you go. You can have green beans with your fried. There's your green. All right. We got a little bit of a run here. New Orleans.
We do. New Orleans at 28. they're going to need some weapons losing Emmanuel Sanders there. So I got him going with Kadarius Toney, wide receiver out of Florida. I mean, I think he's probably him and Kyle Pitts were the top two, offensive weapons, I think coming out of Florida. So I think this makes, perfect sense for New Orleans because they, they're not rebuilding, but they're not falling apart completely. It's a weird time for New Orleans, and I wish they just do one or the other, but I think I have them going wide receiver here.
It's hard for them to blow up, to blow it up when you have
Right.
Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara still, and whether you believe in Taysom Hill or not. They still have a lot of good pieces.
Right.
So it's hard to just throw your hands up in the air and be like, all right, we're rebuilding after the departure of Drew Brees.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they're just going to try and retool. I mean, they're going to try their best. Just grab as many weapons as you can to help out Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
I guess that's probably what they're aiming to do.
Mm-hmm.
The defense definitely need help. Highlighted by the needs here. Their other needs, linebacker, corner, edge. Yeah, their defense needs help. Because they also lost their top pass rusher from this past season at Hendrickson. So they're going to need help on the defensive side of the ball, but if they want to retool the offense or bare minimum just replace Sanders,
right?
I guess I'm okay with it. I'm not gonna hate on them for it.
Right.
But
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So, and continuing that runner receivers with Green Bay at 29, we have them taking Rondale Moore, wide receiver out of Purdue, which I think Aaron Rodgers will be ecstatic about. Moore's been kind of a receiver whose draft stock has just skyrocketed in the last 2 months because of his physical traits and kind of what he was able to do at Purdue. I think it's a good fit with Green Bay. Green Bay usually doesn't take, super flashy receivers. I think this is Green Bay making up for last year's pick that had everyone completely baffled, with Jordan Love. But I had them taking receiver here.
I want them to take a receiver. I would love it if they took more. That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
But they won't.
That's true.
Damn well they won't take a wide receiver. I don't know who they would take. They might just steal Buffalo's pick and just go defense.
They could.
It just feels like Green Bay just set. They're just like, you know what, Aaron, you got it. Here's the offense. We're not going to add to it. Just figure it out.
Yeah.
And then they keep trying to tool up the defense, and they can't.
Mm-hmm.
Suck.
Right.
But yeah, okay. If they take a wide receiver, I'd be impressed, but I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah.
I just think that's what everyone expects them to do, or what like take a wide receiver already. Just do it. Help Aaron. Just take a damn wide receiver.
Right.
And Green Bay just looks at it and goes, "No." Screw you. Speaking of Buffalo, though.
Speaking of Buffalo, I got them taking Tyson Campbell, cornerback out of Georgia, and I think this is a very good pick for them because they need another high quality corner to line up across the field from Tre'Davious White. It's not that Buffalo doesn't have quality corners that can do it game in and game out. The problem is that you need better talent there. We've seen it. You need that speed corner that can keep up with these fast receivers. You got to play to Kansas City. So that's where the Bills. The Bills love picking defensive players in the first round, and I think they're going to continue to do that even at 30. I still think they go corner here.
Yeah, I wrote a blog article about the Bills draft needs back in the day earlier this year. And I put corner and I put Tyson Campbell.
Nice.
So yeah, it all came together. There you go.
There you
Tyson
go.
Campbell, everybody. Kansas City. Man,
oh man, do they have a hole at the offensive line right now?
No, that's not a thing.
That's okay. Patrick Mahomes will be fine. His toe's feeling better. He'll just run around faster now.
Their needs should just say OT, 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 and OT. Like, that's all that should. That's all it should say.
Oh,
Whether it's for a starter or for depth, they just need all. They need all of the offensive linemen.
but yeah, Kansas City, they definitely need some offensive line help here. So I may have them taking Landon Dickerson, guard, interior lineman, essentially guard center out of Alabama. So, that offensive line in Alabama is what helps Mac Jones be as good as he was. So pick the line that helps the quarterback look good, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, zero complaints. Obviously, that's please take Landon Dickerson. Even if magically like Tevin Jenkins falls, if any of those other linemen fall, take them. But yeah, just take the best available lineman and just go home happy. 100%.
Yeah.
Last but not least,
yeah, Super Bowl champs Tampa Bay here at 32. They miraculously kept it together. Their basically their entire team, minus Antonio Brown.
It's incredible.
They don't need help at receiver. They kept the defensive line together. Their offensive line solid. That secondary and the defense, they played amazing against Kansas City. So this is where I had them going on the offensive side. I feel like they have depth at the running back position, but they don't have quality through in and throughout there. They kept Leonard Fournette there, but I still think they're going to bring in, this is kind of almost a best available situation with Najee Harris out of Alabama. I think it's going to be, you could argue that it'd be Travis Etienne here, but it's been often, it's been back and forth between those two running backs in the draft here. Who gets into the first round, and I'm kind of leaning more towards Najee Harris here, just because of how well he played in the college football playoffs. Just an absolute beast. So I think Tampa Bay is going to look to that and be like, that's our guy.
Yeah, I think there's some recency bias with it, just because of how well he did. Like, people just look at the most recent performance and they're like, wow, that guy did really good. That's fine. I mean, Travis Etienne has been one of the best running backs in college football that we've seen in like decades. I'm fine with Najee Harris. I don't have a problem with Najee Harris. It's just I like Etienne more. I've been a huge fan of his. And the fact that he's even falling out of the first round at all just speaks to the testament that no one cares about running backs anymore. Like, and that's what we're talking about with the Pittsburgh.
Yep.
They need a running back so bad. And the fact that you have Etienne just sitting there, he could be a great addition to your offense.
Yep.
He'll probably go early in the second round, I'd be willing to bet.
Oh, yeah.
But it just says so much about the league right now that running backs aren't valued.
I think Etienne's going to fall like similar to how Jonathan Taylor fell. It's going to be the beginning of the second round. He's going to get snatched up real quick.
Right.
If not the first round. I know some people that are, very adamant about Buffalo taking Etienne in the first round. I just don't think they will. They've done third round running backs the last 2 years. If they're going to pick a running back, it's going to be in the third round.
They're at least outside of the first, that's for sure.
Yeah.
They picked up on the trend.
Yes.
Just so Rapid Dave, we are on Twitch. And don't we say we're on Twitch like at the beginning of every show?
Yeah, when we floss.
At the very beginning, we say Twitch right there. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be surprised if Harris lasts that long and TB has Rojo, Fournette, and Gio. But that's the thing, though. I mean, you have Rojo, who is like, okay, he's good. He's okay. Fournette, he was very down for most of the season and then just came out of nowhere for the playoffs. He was excellent in the playoffs.
Yep.
Especially in the Super Bowl. And then Gio, Gio's not that much of an addition. I don't know. I don't even know how they're going to use Gio. I feel like they just picked him up because they needed to fill a spot. I don't know.
Right. It could be special teams. It could be, hey, you're going to do this now.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to be playing a major role.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely, if there's any weak spot, it's at running back because all three of these guys could have down games, and then you don't have a running game. So
right.
Whether it's Harris, whether it's ETN, I think it's definitely a need. I think it's where they go. I have no problem with it. Whether Harris lasts that long or even ETN maybe gets picked at somewhere in this draft, who knows? But I just don't think running backs are valued anymore. So I think he will drop that far. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Kyle Trask surprise pick for Tampa Bay.
I've seen that.
Okay.
I've seen that. I've seen another quarterback go to Tampa Bay too, who I didn't even hear. I have never heard of until the other day. I think last name is Mills.
Mills. It sounds boy.
Yeah, but yeah, this I have a lot of receivers going in the first round, but teams that need quarterbacks, they might get antsy. You could see a lot of these second round, third round quarterbacks coming up to the first round to as a reach, to get the guy they want. Like we saw last year with Green Bay taking the Jordan Love. Jordan Love all of a sudden was a first round prospect, and he shouldn't have been. Like, he literally didn't play last year. That's not a first round quality talent you pick. But yeah,
Davis Mills from Stanford is another option.
Oh, yep.
I think both of them could be a second round quarterback, though.
Yeah,
I don't think that needs to be their priority pick, though.
Right.
Especially if they decide to go Mills. Either one of these guys could be a second round pick, I think.
Yeah, and I think it'll really depend on what if they go quarterback, what kind of quarterback are they looking for? Are they going to get a quarterback that's different than Tom Brady, similar to Tom Brady, that they know works in this offensive scheme? So we'll see.
Rabbit Dave's only been watching for 2 hours.
I appreciate it. It has been a long show.
It's
a lot
draft
longer
night.
but it's a mock draft night. Yeah,
this is always one of our bigger shows. It's a lot to go over. The draft is big.
It is very big.
I'm crazy. Gio is going to be James White for Tampa Bay. Wow. Okay. I just think I love the mustache. Can't down the mustache for Gio. That thing is tight. I just don't think he's that athletic. I think he's injury prone. Well, I don't think he's injury prone. He is injury prone.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't like Gio. He hasn't been a factor on the Bengals in a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But it seems like Tom Brady gets the most out of everybody. So maybe Gio, maybe just because it's Tom Brady and that offense and it's Tampa Bay, maybe they get the most out of him and he becomes James White. Sure. That would be great.
It could happen.
What's up, you jerks? What's up, Strikeout Beer? Look at this Twitch. You get little emojis too. Little green.
Oh, fancy.
But then last but not least, teams without a first round pick: Seattle, obviously for Jamal Adams, Houston for who knows what at this point.
That would have been the I think Laramie Tunsil trade. Yeah.
Okay. And then the Rams, as we mentioned, for Jalen Ramsey still.
Yep.
For the next couple of years, it'll be Jalen Ramsey, and then it'll turn into
Matt Stafford.
Matt Stafford, correct. I was about to say Jared Goff, so that's not right.
No, they got rid of him.
Yeah, he's gone. He's the one that left. They have the new one.
He gone.
So the Rams don't have a first round pick until like 2025 or 6 or something stupid.
Something crazy like that, yeah.
Excuse me. But I think that kind of concludes things, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, do you have anything that you have to say? Anything like forever hold your peace or whatever people say?
When people say "speak now" or "forever hold your peace,"
yeah, something like that.
No, I think I'm good.
It was a solid show.
Solid show, yeah. If
anyone missed the beginning of the show, make sure you go back and we had a great little chat with Aaron Ludwig founder and CEO of Football for Equality. I'll be sure to share his page on our Facebook page and include it like on all of our social medias because it's a great little thing he's trying to get going. He sounds like a man with a plan. I love what he has. I love his ideas. And I'll be following his journey, and I hope everyone else does as well. So, but that'll be it for us. At least, at bare minimum, that'll be it for us until next week. Because
Mama didn't raise no wussies.